Okie dokie. I'm just doing a quick little video, she says, of how to put all these skills that we've used into practice. So I'm gonna just quickly design myself a desk. Now I'm gonna put myself in this situation. I'm a young person. I've had to share a bedroom my entire life with a younger sibling, and now I get to have my own room, which means I get space, which means I can have a desk. I can actually have a place that's my own. So I'm starting from scratch. I've got no idea what I want my desk to look like. So I've got to be really creative. I've really got to think this through. I've got to design it. So I've gone straight into my crates. I've drawn myself a crate. Now mine's fairly dark so you can actually see it. So you might have lighter lines. But I've drawn my crate, and this is the size that I want my desk to be. So it's a good starting point. I'm also going to draw the depth that represents the top of my desk, and I'd like it to be fairly thin. I don't want it to be too chunky, so I'm just adding the depth line of my desk. There we go. I've just noticed that this corner didn't add up, so I'm just going to add that in. There we go. That's a bit better. Okie dokie. And I know that I don't need this line at the minute because this is the top of my desk and it's going to be opaque. There we go. Now, I really want a drawer. I love a drawer, but what I don't like is I don't like the drawers that actually come next to you. Like, although they're really, you know, they're quite deep and they're really useful, I just always bang my knees against them. So I'm actually going to have a drawer. We'll put it here. We're going to use this line for our benefit. I'm going to have a drawer underneath my desk on just one side. And I'm using, if I just highlight, I'm going to draw the drawer a little bit darker. There we go. That's going to be my drawer. My line went a little bit off there. It's not entirely parallel, so I'm just going to rub it out and do it again. So remember, parallel is two lines that will never meet. That's way better. And I think, do I want the drawer to go all the way to the back of the desk or about halfway? Do you know what? We're gonna go just beyond halfway, only because I know what will happen. If it's too far back, I'll have way too much space. I'm gonna lose stuff. And I'm just gonna join up my edges, and I'm keeping my lines parallel to the ones that are opposite. And I'm gonna draw myself a handle, and that's gonna be an ellipse there. I'm not gonna extrude it, just because it's too small. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it be. So there we go. So far I've got the depth of my desk, the top, and I've added one drawer. Now I do like a rather large drawer though. So what I am gonna do, oh gosh, trying to make my lines darker so you can see them. I'm actually making them a bit too thick, so they're ruining my lovely desk design. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add. I am going to add a deeper drawer, but I'm actually going to add it as an attachment to the desk, and I'm going to draw it. I'm actually going to extend it here. I'm going to add it to my crate. That's absolutely fine. So to do that, I'm going to extend my two base lines, if you will. So the one at the front, the one at the back. I'm extending them so they just continue to run. They're still parallel. And I'm going to decide the height. What's going to be the height of my desk? Or tell you what, we're going to get rid of this line here because otherwise we'll get confused. So we'll just get rid of this line because we don't need it for now. Oh, we've done a faux pas with that one, but I'm just going to add that in for a second. That's important. Go, get rid of that for now, Okay, cool. So, I may as well get rid of this one here. Okay, how high do I have it? I think I'm going to have it actually so it lines up with the bottom of this drawer. And so I'm extending this line. I'm trying to keep it so it's parallel. I don't want it massively wide. I'm going to keep it about there. There we go. Okay, so now this is going to be, I'm going to have two drawers here, I reckon. So I'm going to have a little border around this frame because I want them to be obvious that they're drawers. There we go. And to draw this border, I just continue to draw parallel lines that ran the same distance between the outside ones. And this is going to be the divider to show where the two drawers are. I'm just going to add an ellipse as a handle for a second. And now I'm going to add the depth. For the depth, I do want it to be the same depth as the desk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue this line all the way to the back. And then I'm going to draw a parallel line. Okay. which is coming away from my desk, and that's going to help me to add the remaining depth. There we go. I'm going to come down to meet this line, straight line, and then across to meet this one. There we go. That's why we draw in light pencil, people. I don't need this line anymore, so I can get rid of it. Oh, don't need that one either. So there we go. So this is how unbelievably effective learning these skills are. I have no idea in my head for this desk. I'm just drawing as I go. Now, I need a leg. I need legs over here. So what I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to have this as a solid panel, but I need to add the thickness. So I'm going to say that the panel for this is going to be that thick. So I have to get rid of that little corner there. And what I need to do now is I need to draw a parallel line along this bottom one to represent that thickness. Or actually, no, because that's the right depth as well. So I've got to do that. Bring this line down and then erase that. And there we go. So it's a very practical desk at the moment, but maybe I want to get a bit creative with it. If we zoom in a little bit. So let's go over here. What I want here is I would like some form of cup holder. So I'm going to draw myself an ellipse. There we go. There we go. But I want my cup holder to have, I want it to have a wall to it. So I'm going to turn this into a cylinder by drawing my two parallel lines and then drawing my ellipse at the top. There we go. Remove the lines I don't want. I know, I appreciate this is probably a little bit too small actually. No, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. It'll do. It's my desk. I have small cups of tea and coffee anyway. No, I don't, that's a lie. There we go. Oh, what happened there? Oh, my pencil went a bit squiffy. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that. But it is a cylinder and it's coming out of the desk. I could add a wall to it to show that it's a cylinder, but it's so small. I'm going to have to keep it really fairly small. There you go. And what we can actually, this is actually inspired an idea. What I can do at the very back is I absolutely detest when things fall behind my desk. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add, I'm going to extend these corners upwards, keeping parallel with my other lines that already exist. And I'm actually going to add a very small but effective box, cube if you will. And it's going to house some stationery. And it's going to be at the back of the desk because that drives me absolutely nuts. So it's also going to act like almost like a guard. So it's going to be a pen pot holder / stationery holder, but it's also going to stop my stationery from falling down the back of my desk. I can also use it to hide snacks if I so wish, or maybe cables. There we go, just removing the lines I don't want. There we go. Now again, what we should do here, we should add the thickness. So I have to add some, tiny corner. I'd have to add some very small, thin lines to show the thickness. I have to draw these really thin lines to show the depth of the material, but because my pencil went a bit wide, it's not very good. I have to erase some of it. Oh, there you go, that's not too bad, yeah, that'll do. And then what I could also do, if I'm getting really savvy with it, I can then add some dividers if I wanted to. Now, if you're adding dividers, what you need to remember is you need to show the back corner of whatever you put inside, because if it's visible, it must have a back corner. So if you look at the, let's just zoom out a second. There we go. So if we look at the back corner of this desk here, now we can now see the back corner of where it actually meets the floor. But as it goes up, the top of the table, the tabletop of the desk is hiding the rest of it, so we don't see it. But with this on the inside, we would see it. I'm just going to try and get rid of that line because it's going to drive me balmy. But yeah, anyway, that is how... Do I want this line there? No, not really. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't know why I did that. So, okay. And then I can add a couple more dividers if I so wish to show that, oh, look, this is where teeny tiny stationery goes. Look how effective that one tiny line is. Madness. Okay, I'm trying to... that one's not very parallel. I lost my parallelousness. There we go. So those are a couple extra features. And that's it. That's my desk. I think I'm going to leave it there. But that is my desk. If I was moving to my own room and I had my own space and I wanted somewhere, you know, just to do, I don't know, my homework or just a little bit of reading, a little bit of drawing, this is where I could escape to. So I've got lots of storage. It's not massively wacky. I think that I would then go in and, you know, start to add some really fun aesthetics to it, add a bit of colour, a little bit of whimsy, because I like that kind of thing. But, you know, choice is entirely yours. But anyway, there you go. So that is how you can add all those skills that we have learned with our technical drawing. And then I could also obviously render it as well to show the direction of light, which I might do later on. We'll see how we go. But anyway, I'll leave that with you for now. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful, and happy technical drawing.